Big Sky Outdoors, powered by Town Pump, fueling your next outdoor adventure, is also brought to you by Counter Assault, your ultimate protection in the wild. By Montana Army Navy, get it, get out, and live it. The Outdoor Report is provided by Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks. And Bob Ward's, everything outdoors, Montana style.
Excellent.
Hi, this is Joel from Big Sky Outdoors. Today we're with Arrick Swanson of Arrick's Fly Shop in West Yellowstone, Montana. Arrick, what are we doing today?
Today we're going to be floating the Madison River, and we're going to start off with salmon flies, and then we're going to probably end up fishing caddis. So let's get to the river.
Let's go.
We're here on the Madison River, salmon fly time, late June, and it's a little bit windy, so I've picked a 6-weight rod. And then I've got one of the new Shark Wave fly lines. It's kind of a combination of shark skin, textured, and regular. So it's making casting into this wind really easy. Kind of gone old school with the Gunnison reel. So the reason I picked a 6-weight fly rod for today is I'm throwing these 2 larger flies, so it's a little hard to turn those over with a lightweight rod. The 6 has the extra power that I need to turn them over, and then with the wind, it helps to have the larger rod, and we're looking for some bigger fish. So when we're fighting those fish, I've got the extra backbone in the rod to fight those fish and bring them to net. This is the rig that we're using, a big salmon fly that's floating on top, and then I've got a rubber legs dropped off. So I've had strikes on both of these as we've been floating. We've been casting those pretty close to the bank because a lot of these salmon flies are in these willow bushes, and the wind will blow them, they'll fall into the river, and those trout are close to the banks. So we're trying to get as tight to the shore as we can, almost tickling the grass with our dry flies. Real nice brown trout right along the bank, caught on a salmon fly. Well, he's ready to go. There he goes, back to the river. Really nice brown. Let's get some more on the salmon fly. Well, our first major hatch is the salmon flies. That's kind of when the river starts to come down and clean up. It starts down by Ennis, usually around the 20th, 25th of June, we'll start seeing that hatch, and it'll progress upriver a couple of miles each day as the water warms. So it's all about water temperature. And then just after the salmon flies, we'll get the golden stones hatching, and then the caddis will start, kind of moving into later July. After those summer hatches are over, we get into the terrestrials. Hoppers, ants, beetles, flying ants at the end of August. That's kind of the progression of the hatches in a nutshell. Pretty rainbow. Came right up for the salmon fly dry. Whoop. Lively. Came up and ate the salmon fly. Send him back to the river for the next person to catch him. Enjoy those rainbows.
Since 1953, Town Pump has proudly served our communities as Montana's best convenience store. Town Pump offers a huge selection on all your favorite products, and we're always expanding to meet your needs. This month's specials include Twisted Tea 12-pack of cans is only $12.99. Chex Mix is 2 for $2, and Coke and Pepsi products 12 packs are just $3.99. Town Pump is here to serve your community, so come visit Montana's best convenience store today.
Find your next adventure at Bob Ward's Sports and Outdoors. Bob Ward's Sports and Outdoors, Montana style.
Well, one of the main reasons that I moved to this country to fish here is I would read stories in the magazines and read books, especially by Charlie Brooks. The just sheer number of streams and rivers and lakes that this area has, and they're all public, and the access is so easy. You have Yellowstone National Park, you have lots of BLM land, you have lots of national forests, so very easy to access. And they're tailor-made for fly fishing. Larger rivers, lots of insect hatches. The trout are all wild. They're beautiful in their colors. So I just love all of those aspects of this area. And the Madison in particular. It's a very classic Western stream. Personally, I could float it every day. I just love it that much. The first time I came to this area was in the early 1980s and enjoyed it on family vacations. Every year we seemed to come back for longer and longer periods of time. And then when I got into college, started coming up working in this area. And then finally when I graduated, decided to move up here. And then in 1993, opened up a fly shop and have been operating that ever since out of West Yellowstone. The biggest reasons that people should come to my fly shop is our customer service and our attention to the people that come in. We like all kinds of fishermen, whether you're a beginner, an intermediate, or an advanced fisherman. We don't care where you come from in life. We want to help you enjoy fly fishing and enjoy this area and catch fish. And this all kind of started for me when I was 8 years old and I wanted a fly tying kit for Christmas. So I've always loved fly tying. So that is a big part of my shop, is having lots and lots of fly tying materials, having a wide selection for the trout fishermen. And we even have fly tying benches in the shop where we tie flies and teach people and instruct them on tying flies. So we welcome all the questions about fly tying. So since I've been tying flies such a long period of time, and fly tying has a lot of creativity to it, you develop patterns over time, different materials, you watch the insects, and then you try to match the bugs that you see. So a couple of them that I've kind of come up with over the years. One that we've been kind of using today is this bitchin' salmon fly. It's got a woven body, kind of tailored after the Bitch Creek nymph, but it's a dry fly that floats on top. And then another one is this flying ant pattern, and we'll use that towards the end of August and September. Montana Fly Company has these two patterns that they tie and distribute for me. A couple other ones. This is a golden rubber legs. Developed this when Wapsie first came out with silly legs back in the early 90s. I've always been kind of fascinated with golden stones, so that's why I kind of came up with this one. And then another pattern is this cross-eyed zonker. Always liked zonkers for imitating little fish. but now they've got these cones with little eyes on them, so they look very lifelike. So those are some of the flies that I've created over the years, and lots more to come. Got a couple of stonefly patterns here from Montana Fly Company. They're called the True Salmon Fly and the True Golden Stone. We've been fishing the salmon flies. The action's kind of slowed down on them, so we're gonna go to a little smaller golden stone pattern. We've got some real bright sun, so maybe a smaller fly will get us a little bit more action. They've been really starting to take the caddis, so I'm gonna drop off a little caddis emerger off the golden stone. He jumped for us. Fish on. Came up and took the caddis right in the middle of the river. Oh, another nice jump. Putting on a nice little show. Get this line under control. All right, right to the net. All right, little rainbow. Took that nice caddis. There we go. Release him right back into the river. Grow a little bigger. Catch you next year.
Army-Navy is your hunting headquarters. It's the best place around when you're serious about saving money on the things you need to go hunting. Knife sharpeners, wool gloves, backpacking meals, optics, socks, boots, insoles, stoves. Why, it's a virtual hunter's checklist. All name brands and all at fantastic savings. On Highway 2 in Evergreen and Highway 93 in Whitefish. MontanaArmyNavy.com.
Get out and live it.
See what the fish are feeding on. Let's see what we got here. Oh, there's some stoneflies. Here, Zach, hold that side. So we've got, there's a stonefly, there's a stonefly. Lots of different sizes of stoneflies. The stonefly, these are salmon fly nymphs, and they've got a 4-year life cycle. So these guys will probably hatch out in a couple of years once they grow larger. The largest ones, they'll be about that long, and they'll hatch this time of the year, late June, into the winged adults, and then they fly back to the river and lay their eggs. So you can fish stoneflies year-round on a lot of these western rivers, the Madison here in particular. So as I'm casting here, I'm looking for different kinds of structure. I'm looking for rocks that can break the current, give the fish some relief. I'm looking for like little drop-offs, and some of my favorite is like what's coming up here. We've got a little shallow spot, and then it drops off into some green-colored water. I know that that's a little deeper, and that's a spot the fish will lay. They feel secure. I've got a nymph dropped off that dry, so I'm hoping that it'll sink down and catch me a fish. I also like places like this tree overhanging the water a little bit. There's a rock, creates a nice little break for the fish. Maybe. Here's a nice spot, bunch of rocks, creates a lot of structure. They can hide around it. That was nice. Anywhere where they can get a little relief from the current, or where two currents maybe come together, make a seam. Those are things that I'm looking for. Over along this bank, we've got a lot of grass close to the bank, so they can lay under that grass. And they'll shoot out and grab the fly. Dropped off the salmon fly. Oh, going under the boat. Oh, it's a rainbow. Whoop. Oh.
Right here. Sorry, I was watching these rocks here.
Okay.
Give you that?
Got it.
Thank you.
Right. back to the river. All right, so we've pulled the boats over here on this gravel bar. We've got a real nice side channel, and the way I like to approach it first is to stay shallow, because sometimes the fish, they'll be laying in about 3 or 4 inches of water. There was a couple of rises up here. That's why I want to stay shallow, so I don't want to spook those fish, because they'll run over into the deep water and spook all of them, and then I won't catch anything. Whoop. There's a little guy. They've got to start somewhere. Little rainbow. Oh, come here, guy. So I like to catch those little guys, because then I know they're going to grow up, get big. I like to see all sizes of fish. Just tells me that the river's nice and healthy. Okay, made a bunch of casts here over this water. Now I'm going to step a little bit closer. There's a real nice rock over there. Kind of breaks the current. Gives the fish a good place to hide behind. They get some relief from the current. Got to do a reach cast because the water's a little slower where my flies are landing. And my line is going to be in some faster water, so I've got to mend it upstream and then follow it as it drifts. So a reach cast is a mend, but it's in the air. So before the line hits the water, you just reach the rod tip upstream and then drop the rod and follow. That gives it some slack so that the fly will drift more naturally in the current. That's a great technique when you're trying to cast your flies into slower water.
Counter Assault, the original bear deterrent, has been made, developed, and scientifically tested in Montana for nearly 30 years.
Counter Assault is what I chose for my staff based on my personal experience, scientific testing, and it's the only one that met all the expert recommendations. Spray time and spray distance are important in a bear attack, and Counter Assault has both. As an avid hiker, hunter, and outdoorsman, Counter Assault is my first line of defense in bear country.
Carry what the professionals carry. Counter Assault, Grizzly Tough Bear Spray. Look for the red can.
Here's this week's outdoor report by our friends at Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks.
40 years ago, the Montana legislature passed a bill allowing landowners to conserve their property forever under a conservation easement. This July, many are celebrating the anniversary during Montana Open Land Month.
The purpose of Open Land Month is to recognize and celebrate the value of open land so we don't lose it, so we treasure it, and it's with us long into the future.
Montana's first conservation easement was here in the Blackfoot Valley. Since then, Fish, Wildlife, and Parks and Montana Land Trust and other organizations have helped to conserve lands across Montana.
Since 1975, I think the people of Montana have recognized just how vastly important Montana open land is. And there's been a broad suite of programs and policies that are meant to conserve, promote, and use open land.
One goal of Open Land Month is to recognize these conservation programs and their importance to Montana's economy.
Montana Open Land Month is far broader than just private land conservation. We want to salute farmers and ranchers. They produce food that feeds the country and feeds the world. We want to salute tourism. We want to salute all of the aspects that make Montana so special.
Organizers of Open Land Month hope Montanans will celebrate the conservation of open lands.
We all have some kind of appreciation for open land, and Montana Open Land Month is meant to highlight, feature, and salute that appreciation.
For more information, you can visit Montana Open Land Month's Facebook page and website. I'm Winston Greeley, out among Montana's fish, wildlife, and parks.
Well, it was actually back when I was 8 years old. I wanted a fly tying kit for Christmas, and nobody in my family had really fly fished. I don't know why, I just wanted that. And so that's what my parents got me. Started tying flies, and over the years, my dad and I learned how to fly fish together. So it's a great memory for me. And fly fishing just seems to be kind of getting back to nature. You're tying flies that imitate bugs that fish eat, and you're on the water. You can hear the sound of the river. You can look around at the beautiful scenery, birds and animals. It's just, to me, it's a great way to connect with nature, and it takes away all that, takes away your work, takes away the big city life, takes you back to a simpler time, and helps your mind decompress, and you can focus on the fly and you forget everything. Really a relaxing experience.
Beautiful brown. It's been eating well this spring. Beautiful brown on the Madison.
We had a great day today fishing with Arrick Swanson of Arrick's Fly Shop in West Yellowstone, Montana on the Madison River. Arrick, how can people find out more about you?
They can go right to our website, arricks.com, right in West Yellowstone, Montana, and we've got all our guide service info, and give us a call and we'd love to take you out.
Thanks, we'll see you next week on Big Sky Outdoors.